kill you, Sneaky Cat. Mad. Sneaky Cat. Mad.
Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we are headed to Noble, Oklahoma with Joseph and his Trans Am, Jeff and the Hellcat, and Sneaky Cat is back there in the enclosed somewhere back there. So we're headed out right now, probably get there around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then we'll eat some food and we're gonna get over to the track and see what the Sneaky Cat can do. So I'll update you guys
once we get there.
Alright guys, personal opinions here. Is this a street car or a race car? Let me know in the comments below. Street car or race car? Kennedy? Oh shit.
I'm gonna have to go with race car.
Wow. Let me know below. Alright guys, so we're about an hour outside of the track right now. We're stopping to get some food. That way we don't spend money at the track eating their shitty food. Who knows if it's shitty? I'm assuming it's shitty. It's track food. But we are going over to Twin Peaks. Joseph is so damn excited. That's all he talks about all week. I'm trying to talk to him about the cars and what we're going to do. And he's like, dude, but we're going to Twin Peaks. I don't know why he's so excited. He loves Twin Peaks. So we're going to go eat at Twin Peaks. We're parking the trailers right now in this big ass parking lot. So we're gonna eat here and then we're gonna head out. So right now we're actually skipping all the traffic through Oklahoma City, which is kind of nice. And hopefully by the time we're done eating, there will be no more traffic. So we'll see you guys at the track. Right now.
Show car.
Aerodynamics, right?
You got my pantyhose and you're washing your car. But it's not got pantyhose on it.
So it's a pretty good night out right now. It's a little cloudy, but it doesn't look like it's gonna rain. So hopefully it doesn't rain. We're airing up the tires right now. I don't know if you can hear me because everyone's so damn loud around here. So we're airing up the front tires. They were a little low. They're like 23 PSI. We're gonna put them at like 35 PSI. And Joseph's airing up his tires also, and Jeff is over here putting his ET Street R's on. So we're gonna get the cars set up, and then we'll get over to tech. What? So it's official, this track hates me. So we made one pass and the car went into limp mode through a different code. Ooh, look at that, STI, I have to show it to Skylar. Skylar, someone's got the same wrap as you, just on a newer STI. But yeah, through a limp code. So Jeff and Joseph are gonna go again. That's not Joseph. So we reset the computer, cleared the codes out, and we're gonna make another hit once it cools off a little bit. Kyler, you got some competition, man.
How does he? He does not need that. Are you cool?
Genders, let's go! Genders after the gender! We've been saying that for 5 minutes.
So this is our last stop. It's about 3 a.m. Just finishing up, filling up with gas, diesel for me. And this will be the last stop before we get back to Amarillo. It's 3 a.m. And I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. I'll actually close out the video, but we're hitting some rain. We're making pretty good time coming back though. You sleeping?
Yeah, I'm sleepwalking, talking.
Cupcake, how you doing? Same, dude. Same. Woo! I am tired. So we ultimately got back around 4:30 in the morning and had to work at 7:30 for a couple hours. So it's now 10 o'clock. Just had to work for a couple hours this morning. Not a bad drive at all, honestly. we were cruising pretty good with the trailers, and there was no traffic, obviously, because it was super late last night. We hit a little bit of rain, but it wasn't too bad, so we made really good time last night. And yeah, let's talk about what happened at the track. Some crazy shit happened at the track, but ultimately it was an awesome night. We showed up around 6 o'clock, right when they opened, and the weather was like in the mid to high 60s all night. Like, it never changed too much. The DA stayed around 2,000. It started around 2,400, ultimately dropped to like 2,000. Didn't get super low. Obviously for us, that's a low DA, but compared to like where everyone else is racing across the country, it's not that low. But it got around 2,000. It might have got to like 1,900 at one point, but still like decent DA for us to race in. So we get there, Joseph makes a hit right off the trailer, and he kind of eases into the boost just to see if the track's holding, and the track's holding pretty good. So I lined my car up, and I did a burnout. The car felt kind of weird in the burnout, and then I go to launch the car at like 1,500 RPMs. Was gonna kind of just ease into it for the first pass, and my plan was to shut down at the 8th mile because I didn't want to get kicked out on my first pass. I wanted to get a feel for the 8th mile and the 60 foot before I went for the full quarter mile, because they definitely were gonna kick me out, as I witnessed last night, because I did get kicked out, and we'll get to that. So yeah, I went to launch the car, and it went into limp mode, and my foot went all the way down to the floor, and the car went 20 miles an hour, and my trap was 32 miles an hour down the quarter mile for a 20-something second quarter mile. So something was obviously wrong. The car went into limp mode. It threw a code, and brought the car back. It was throwing a throttle body code. So I deleted the code, took the car on 2 test hits on a little back road they have behind the parking lot, and the car seemed fine. So I was like, well, time to make another hit. As we're kind of going, and all this was kind of going on, Jeff made his pass. He ran a 10.9. I'm gonna post that video. He ran a 10.9, completely stock with drag radials at about 2,000 DA. So really cool. So happy for Jeff. And that was his goal ultimately, was to run a 10 in the car stock before he starts modding it. And he ran the 10. So it was pretty cool. He drove the car, you know, 5 hours, slaps some tires on, runs a 10, then drives home. Like, you really cannot beat that for a stock car. I think that's really cool. And it's still at like 2,000 DA, so the car could go faster, and he could still get the 60 foot was decent, but he could probably still get a better one. So huge shout out to Jeff, and congrats to him for doing that. It's awesome to see. And then Joseph made a test hit. He got another one in, pulled a pretty good wheelie. I'm not allowed to say the times because his car, it is a grudge car, and he does some no prep racing and some 8th mile stuff where they don't do the times, some heads up stuff. So not allowed to say what his times were, but that car is insane, and it's only gonna get faster. But it's really cool to watch him dial that thing in, and to see him drive it, because you definitely got to be a driver to be able to drive that car, and to stay in it, because that thing is wild. But it was cool to finally see that car pull the wheels. And so what had happened was, after they made their 2 test hits, actually it was before their 2 test hits, that's right, it was before their 2 test hits. This guy in a Camaro, I'm gonna post the video right after this, but he freaking stands that car, hits the back bumper, and he comes down so hard on the oil pan, just cracks it, and there's just oil all over the track. I mean, complete oil pan, just demolished, oil all over the track. So I think we're shut down for probably an hour and a half, a good hour and a half. The track was shut down at least, and everyone's still in the staging lanes. It was a busy Friday night. I've been there once before, as you guys know, and it was not nearly as busy. This place was packed. There was hundreds of cars in line. It was insane. And so one small little accident, and it backs everything up. So they finally get it cleaned up. They start running the street cars again. We were in the slick and radial class, or lines, not class, sorry, it's just test and tune. But we're in the slick and radial lines, so they're kind of switching back and forth. And then someone breaks again. They got to clean the track, and we were just, I think there had to have been 3 or 4 breaks, and it just really set us back. They were supposed to close at 11. They ended up backing the time up to midnight. They were going to close, and with how long the lines are, like, it was, you were lucky to get 3 or 4 passes. So we stayed until they shut the lights off. We all got 4 passes, but the track went to shit after all these breaks started happening. The track just never came back because not enough cars were going down to lay down some rubber after all these people were braking on the track. But I did go out for my second pass. Unfortunately, so if you guys don't know, I have to ice my car down to keep the blower nice and cool. And I usually do that right as I'm in the staging lanes, but we were waiting so long and there wasn't much room or time once you got up to the staging lane, because you would wait in the back and then all of a sudden the line would get moving and next thing you know you're up front and you're running, or vice versa, you're sitting for an hour and a half in the staging lane and there's nowhere for me to really drain my car up there or to ice it down. So I made my second pass, not really completely iced down, but I made a second pass and the car just spun the shit out of the tires. I blew the tires off and I ran like 11 second quarter of a mile at like 80 miles an hour. So that was not good. But I knew that the car was finally fixed. It wasn't going to go into limp mode. So I decided I'm going to run the car again. So I iced the car down again real quickly. Didn't even get to do a full ice down. Got back in line. This is when someone else had broke. And so ended up waiting in line for like another 30-40 minutes. But I finally got to run the car again. And the car, it hooked pretty good. It went a 144 60 foot. I still need to work on the 60 foot, but it went 956 at 148.4 miles an hour. I don't usually see traps that high because I base a lot of my stuff off other Hellcats and what they've done and people that have similar setups, because there's a decent amount of people that have a similar setup to me. So their traps were nowhere near that and they're running low nines, and so it's pretty crazy to see that my car trapped that high. So obviously some of the weight reduction stuff I've done has helped. Sorry, I can't talk, I'm half asleep still. So some of the weight reduction stuff that I've done has really helped the car and it's helping it move out of the hole. But I was kind of disappointed. I was excited but disappointed at the same time because my car ran a personal best, but then I saw the trap and I'm like, man, this car has so much more in it. And we're still at almost 2,000 DA. Like, I couldn't even imagine going to negative DA or under 1,000 DA like a lot of these guys on the East Coast. But, you know, it is what it is. You got to race where you race, and you can only compare your results to what you're doing in the same weather. So, iced down the car real quick, jumped back in line. And right before I did my 9.5 pass, the guy was like, hey man, like, looking at this car, like, you should probably have like a roll cage and a fire suit. And I was like, man, the car just went 11s. Like, it's not even running good right now. I don't know what it's going to do. And he's like, okay, whatever, like, let me go. I ran the 9.5. So of course, when I pull back in, he's like, yeah, we've got some issues. And we kind of went back and forth. He's telling me I have to have a roll cage, I have to have a fire suit. And he's like, listen, you already did your burnout. I'm going to let you run, but you need to shut off at the 8th mile. And I was like, man, I don't want to be a dick or anything. I was like, but I drove 5 hours and I really just want to get another clean pass in. Just let me see if I can make a clean pass. And he's like, I can't let you do that. Like, your life is in my hands. I'm the safety guy here. And I totally respect that. And he's like, how about this? You run through the quarter mile, but show me that you tap the brakes at the end of the quarter mile, that I know you're not going to go full on all the way through the quarter mile. Just tap the brakes at the end, at the very end. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. So I go, I spin the tires pretty good off the 60 foot. It was only like a 155, and I could tell the difference. I could tell it wasn't a good 60 foot. So I went through the 8th and I just shut off at the 8th. Like, it just wasn't a good pass. And that was pretty much it. So I got 4 runs in. I got the first run where the car went into limp mode. I got my sweet 11-second pass. And then I got my 9.5. And then I went to run again and just blew the tires off. So overall, not a very successful night. I mean, I drove almost 5 hours. And, you know, I'm fine with getting 4 passes in. I just didn't get 4 good passes in. But I did get some good data. I kind of figured out, I think I really know the sweet spot for this car. And I want to get to a little bit better track, because the track was good last night, but it wasn't any better than Amarillo. Like, I've cut the same 60 foots, very close 60 foots in Amarillo, like not too far off. So I'd like to go there when they actually have a race going on, or some type of bracket racing, some type of event where they prep the track a little bit better, and maybe where the cars aren't breaking down every 30 minutes and screwing up the damn track. So, but I'm really happy with what the car did. I just know what the car can do and what it's got left in it, and it's just, oh man. Man, I want to get to some better DA, and I need a better track. But Noble's actually a really good track. It just, you know, you're on test and tune, so you're going, you know, sometimes you might get a street car in front of you. They had us split up, but sometimes they would kind of mix the cars, and you'd end up getting someone with street tires, and that just doesn't help the track at all if they go before you. But no big deal. I'm really happy with the car. Joseph got some personal best in his car, and he got some really good data to work off of. And like I said, it's just so cool watching him race, and he's just so knowledgeable, and there's so much to be learned from him. Even though he's on a totally different platform, there's so many things that you can translate from him and what he's doing to what you are doing in your platform. Obviously, it's still the same concept out there. It's just applied differently with the different vehicles. So, and like I said, really cool that Jeff ran a 10 stock. I mean, awesome. Freaking, I wish I could have done a 10 when my car was stock, but the mod bug bit me real hard and I just went crazy. And now look where we are. So I wanted to close out this video. Huge shout out to Kennedy for all her support. She came out with us. She's such a trooper. She got some sick photos. You guys have to follow me on Instagram to see the photos she takes of my car. They're so badass. And she got a nice picture of Joseph pulling the wheels too, so that'd be sick to post. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know there's a lot of me talking at the end, but I kind of wanted to explain the night because there's just all back and forth. There's a lot of shit going on. And but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're back in Amarillo, and I don't know what's next for the Sneaky Cat. Obviously, I've got to do the safety requirements if I want to run anywhere else, and that's just part of it. So we got to figure that out. But that's going to conclude today's video. Hopefully you guys like that. Make sure you always comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at VanV39, and we'll see you guys on the next one.